Welcome you all to the second part of Unit 14. So today I am going to start another new subtopic of the lesson Continuity of Life. So today my topic is on artificial vegetative propagation. First we will see what is artificial vegetative propagation. So if you consider the definition, it is the production of plants vegetatively by the involvement of man. So here people produce new generation of plants using the different plant parts of the mother plant. So if you consider the methods using in this artificial vegetative propagation, the main method is the using of stem cuttings. Here we use the stem cuttings and allow it for rooting and produce the new plant. And another method is layering and also grafting, and one advanced technology we are using in artificial vegetative propagation is the tissue culture. So in this lesson, I'm going to discuss with you about all four these types of artificial vegetative propagations. So first we will move to the routing of stem cuttings. So by just looking at this diagram even, you can conclude or you can imagine what the method using here. So this is a most common method that is used by our mothers to obtain new plants from the existing parent plants. So here we obtain a stem cutting or a branch of a mother plant and grow it in somewhere else to obtain a new plant. So when you are selecting a branch for planting, or when you are selecting a twig for obtaining a new plant, there should be special things that you should consider. So the twig that you are selecting should be a healthy one and it should be obtained from a healthy plant. And also that plant part or that twig should not bear tender leaves, flowers or fruits when you are going to separate it from the mother plant. And for example, we are using rose flower plants, shoe flower plant, and Ixora, bougainvillea, croton for obtaining stem cutting. So we separate the new branch from these type of plants and plant them in a separate place to obtain a new plant. So under the lesson of hormones in grade 9, you have learned that auxin is the hormone that is responsible for enhancing the root growth in plants. So here also we can apply auxin uh, from outside to enhance the root growth or speed up the growth of roots from this stem cutting. So you can take artificial auxin from or chemicals that include auxin from the uh, outside or from a shop and apply it at the place where you apply the where you put the cut and grow the plant. Then you can speed up the appearance of adventitious root from this stem cutting. So the second method of artificial vegetative propagation is layering. So in rooting of stem cuttings, we separated the branch that we want to grow from the mother plant and grow it in grow it in another place and provide all the nutrients and all the things that is needed for its growth externally. But this is something different from that. Here we initiate the rooting while the twig is still attaching to the mother plant. So we are not separating the twig that we want to grow from the mother plant, and we allow it to be with the mother plant and enhance the root growth of that plant. So if you consider that layering, we use two main methods for obtaining new plants as ground layering and aerial layering. So in this diagram also it shows how the ground layering and aerial layering or air layering is done. So now we'll see how these two methods are using to produce new plants. So first we'll see what is ground layering, and in ground layering you have to select a branch or twig from the mother plant which is located uh, near to the ground and which is at the ground level, and you have to put a small cut on the underside of the selected twig. That means on the side of the twig that is towards the ground. You have to put a small cut and on the underside of the selected twig and bend it and bury it under the soil as shown in these diagrams. And then you can allow its root growth, allow it for appearing new roots for few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and after developing new roots you can separate the new plant part from the mother plant and grow it in a place where necessary. So this method can be used to obtain new plants from jasmine and lemon plants. So you know that it is very difficult to obtain new plants from plants like jasmine. So this type of method can be used to obtain new plants from the plants that cannot be obtained new plants easily. So here in this diagram it has given the two methods that we are using in ground layering. Here the branch is buried in soil as I explained here, and but here it is something different. Here the selected branch is covered by a lump of soil and allow it for root growth. So this is the method that we are using in ground layering to obtain new plants. Okay, now we will move to aerial layering or air layering. So in ground layering, we had to select a branch of the plant which is located at the ground level. But there should be a method to obtain new plant from the branches of the plant which are located above from the ground level. So we can use this aerial layering. So here you can select any twig of the plant which is located anywhere of the plant, and the only thing that you have to do is to remove a ring of bark of the twig we selected as uh, we did in the ground layering. But in ground layering, you just put a small cut to the twig. But here you have to remove whole ring of bark from the twig, and then you have to cover that cutted place using a mixture of compost and coir dust and cover it using a polythene strip, and you have to allow it for a few weeks for appearing new roots. Then after developing new roots you can separate the plant part from the mother plant and grow it in somewhere else. And this method also can be used to produce new plants in pomegranate and lemon, and also can be used in jasmine plants. So here in this diagram, it has clearly explained the steps we discussed here. Here you have to remove the ring of bark like this, and you have to apply compost and coir dust and wrap it using a polythene piece of polythene and allow it for development of root. And after developing roots, you have to remove that twig from the mother plant like this and plant it in a necessary place. So this is what you have to do in aerial layering to obtain new plants. So now we will see what are the advantages of using layering in artificial vegetative propagation. So it is very important method that we can use in the plants which do not produce seeds. So producing seeds is the natural mechanism of plant to produce new plants, but there are some plants which do not produce seeds like jasmine. So you can use this method to obtain new plants from that type of plants, and also you can produce several number of plants easily using this method. So you can apply ground layering and air layering to the several branches of the same plant and allow it for uh, appearing new roots. And after developing new roots, you can separate all those plants at once and grow in a separate place as new plants. And also uh, the propagated portion continuously receive water and nutrients from the parent plant. So you will not need to produce nutrients and water externally as the as the selected plant part that we are going to grow as a new plant is connected to the mother plant. And this is another important fact, another advantage of using layering in producing new plants. And these are the things we have to discuss under layering. Okay, now we will move to the third method of artificial vegetative propagation, that is grafting. So this is somewhat different from the methods that we discussed earlier, and this is somewhat developed method. So here we are connecting twigs or buds that is obtained from one plant to another plant or another plant of the closely related species to obtain new plants. So this is something complex as when compared to the previous two methods we used, and there should be a special features or special things that you should know before learning about the grafting. So we'll see what are they. Um, the two plant parts. So here earlier I said that here we use two parts from two separate plants. So the two plant parts we use are given special names. So the first type is stalk. So it is clearly explained in this diagram also. So stalk is the mother plant or the plant that we are using with the root system. So the rooted part of the plant or plant with the root system is called as the stalk, and this stalk plant part should contain these features. It should bear a strong root system. So its root system should have a well-grown root system, and also that plant part should show a uniform growth. It should not show a retarded growth. It should show a uniform growth, and also that plant part can bear up the environmental changes, and also it should be able to bear up the disease conditions. So these are the things we have to consider about the plant or the rooted plant part that we are using for that we are selecting for grafting. And the other part is the scion, and this is the twig or the bud that we are taking from the other plant. So it is labeled here also. So this is the plant part that we are taken from some other plant and that we are going to fix to the stalk. And even selecting the scion also, you have to consider these points. It should be a variety of a good variety with good characteristics. So here we are selecting a scion from a plant with good characteristics. So that means fruits with a good taste and fruits with a good color and large fruits. So we consider the special characteristics of the plant for selecting the scion, and also it should be free from the pest and disease conditions at the time of grafting. If it is a diseased plant, then this grafting will not be a successful one. So these are the things that you have to consider in selecting the two plant parts for grafting. And now we will see what are the methods of grafting. So here, before moving to the methods, this in this grafting we are fixing the stalk and the scion together to form a new plant. So here we are fixing the cambium of those two plants and allow vitro uh, producing a new plant. So here the selecting two plants should contain the cambium. So we can use this method only to the dicotyledonous plants and not for the monocotyledonous plants, as the monocotyledonous plants do not contain a cambium tissue. And the two methods of grafting are bud grafting and the twin grafting. So now we will see how the grafting is done using these two methods. Okay. First, we'll see what is bud grafting. In bud grafting, it is used a small bud as the scion, and that bud is grafted to a stalk selected mother plant. So that is why we call it as bud grafting, because we are using a growing bud as the scion. So according to the shape of the cut we put on the stalk, there are several types of bud grafting. For example, T bud, H bud, and V bud. In T bud, we put a T-shaped cut on the stalk plant and insert the separated bud into it. And in H bud also, we put the H-shaped cut, and in V bud grafting, we put a V-shaped cut cut on the stalk and insert the separated buds. So the procedure of doing bud grafting is explained here. So in the first step, you have to uh, separate the bud from a mother plant. So in before separating the bud, you have to sterilize all the tools you are using, because they are the selected bud may get some infections due to the uh, things applied on the tools we are using. So before starting to put the cut, we have to clean the tools we are using, and we have to remove the bud from the mother plant as the scion as shown in this diagram, and then we have to put the cut on the stock plant, and here it has put the T-shaped cut. So you can use either T cut, H cut or V cut to insert the removed bud. So here it has uh, put the cut, T-shaped cut, and opened the bark of the stock plant, and it has inserted the scion here. Then we have to wrap the stock plant. So this wrapping is also should be done in a methodical way. Here the wrapping should be done from upwards and downwards. So you have to start wrapping from the upper part of the plant and continue wrapping to the downward. So this prevent leakage of water into the grafting. So this is the method we use in bud grafting. And now we'll see what is twig grafting. In twig grafting, we are using a twig of a plant as a scion. So according to the shape of the cut that we put at the edge of the stalk and the scion, there are several types of twig grafting. For example, arch grafting and twig grafting. So here it has shown the method of doing this twig grafting. So this diagram it shows the stalk and the scion, and here it has put the cut as a peg. So the scion has inserted the cut made on the stalk, and it is wrapped to prevent the leakage of water as we did in the bud grafting. And here in this diagram it shows doing twig grafting using several scions to a same stalk. So bud grafting, this twig grafting can be done in these two ways. Okay, now you know what is grafting and what are the methods we use in doing grafting. So now we will see what are the advantages and disadvantages we get by applying this artificial vegetative method. So first we will see what are the advantages. By doing bud grafting or twig grafting, we can obtain a new plant with the similar characteristic to the plant that we obtained the scion. So you can obtain a plant with similar characteristic to the scion, but not to the uh, stock. And also you can obtain disease resistant plants as the selected stock is having a strong and well grown root system. And also uh, we can use this method to the plants which do not produce seeds. So we can easily obtain new plants from the plants which do not produce seeds easily using grafting. And now we'll move to the disadvantages. Uh, the main disadvantage is the plants we obtain from this grafting has a short lifespan. Also, if it is a flowering plant which gives fruits, the period of giving fruits and the quality of the fruits will reduce with time. And also, we cannot apply this method to each and every plant. And for a selected species, we can apply this method. And if it is done to a woody plant, this cutting and the methods we are using in grafting reduce the value of the wood of the plant. These are the advantages and disadvantages we get from the plants we obtain by bud grafting and twig grafting. Okay, now we will move to the other type of artificial vegetative propagation, that is tissue culture. So this is the most developed and modern method we are using in obtaining new plants. So in tissue culture, small piece of plant tissue is used to obtain many plants. So here that small plant tissue is cultured or grown in a nutrient medium under very sterile conditions. So the plants obtained are called as a clone. So here in this diagram also it shows a few clones grown under sterile conditions in a bottle. So all these plants that you can see in this bottle are obtained from a small uh, piece of plant tissue. And also after doing tissue culture, you can obtain new plants with same genetical characteristics. That means you can obtain genetically identical clones by the tissue culture. And also we are taking the tissues from the plant by selected plants. So for example, from apical bud, lateral buds and root tips, we are taking the tissues for doing the tissue culture. So, for doing this tissue culture, we are using a nutrient media, and in this nutrient media, it contains sucrose, mineral salts, vitamins, and all the plant growth substances that are needed for the growth of the plant. And this medium is fixed by adding agar gel, and so produced samples should be kept under sterile conditions, and the temperature and the amount of light should be controlled. So this prevent the microbial infections, and also it provide all the necessary environment for the plant growth. So this is what happens in the tissue culture. So now let's see what are the main steps that we have to follow in doing a tissue culture. So in the first step, we have to introduce the removed vegetative tissue from the mother plant into the culture medium. So here we have to grow the or place the vegetative tissue we have separated from the mother plant on the prepared culture medium and allow it for developing roots and buds. So the tissue which starts the development of roots and buds is called as the callus, and from this callus it starts to grow some plantlets. So for this, after growing of these plantlets or small plants with root system and buds, they have to be separated and place them in separate test tubes or flasks to grow further, because it needs some space for further growth. And after the completing growth in the test tubes or flasks, we have to introduce them into the soil medium, and we have to adapt those plants to the natural conditions before introducing them to the field. So this is a complex process, although I have explained it using these 4 points. So here I have given you a summary of doing the tissue culture, but this is somewhat complex method because we have to maintain sterile conditions and control the temperature and the amount of light fallen onto the tissue, and we have to make the nutrient medium in appropriate amounts and by adding the appropriate amounts of nutrients. So this is somewhat complex process, but the main advantage is that we can obtain many plants of large number of plants at once from a small piece of plant tissue. So now we see the advantages of tissue culture further. So you can obtain offsprings which are having identical features to the mother plant. So we are obtaining new plants from a single piece of tissue. So producing new plants contain similar characteristics to their mother plant. And also, we can obtain a large number of plants at the same time. I explained this earlier also. And also, we can produce a large number of plants in a short period of time. So earlier we discussed about the other three methods of doing artificial vegetative propagation. There we could obtain few number of plants at a time. But here, by using a single piece of tissue, we can obtain a large number of plants. So this is a main advantage of doing tissue culture. And also, we can obtain large number of healthy plants using a limited space. The space needed for doing tissue culture is less. As we are doing it in a sterile conditions, we can obtain healthy plants at a limited space. And also, we can obtain a large number of plants using a hybrid tissue with a favorable gene. So instead of using a tissue obtained from a just mother plant, we can use a hybrid tissue. That means a tissue which containing mixed characteristics. We can use a few plants and add their characteristics together to a hybrid tissue, and we can grow and develop that tissue into new plants using the tissue culture. So these are the main advantages of doing tissue culture, and we are using this method to obtain plants from new plants from banana species, and also for ornamental plants like anthurium, orchid. This is a common and advanced method that we are using to obtain large number of identical plants from a uh, single tissue obtained from a mother plant. So this is what we have learned today. We discussed about the artificial vegetative propagation, and under artificial vegetative propagation, we discuss about the four main methods of obtaining new plants. They are rooting of stem cutting, layering, grafting, and tissue culture. So in the lesson, we discuss about all these four uh, methods of doing artificial vegetative propagation and their advantages and disadvantages also. So this is what we have to learn under the artificial vegetative propagation. That's my today's lesson. We'll meet with my next video to study the rest of the lesson of continuity of life. Goodbye.